I exposed my sister's affair at her baby shower, and my entire family turned against me 1 year later. The truth came out, and now they're begging for my forgiveness. I F35 have always had a complicated relationship with my sister, Lori F33. Growing up, we were like night and day. Lori was the perfect child, straight A's captain of the debate team and prom queen. I, on the other hand, was more interested in art and music, often skipping classes to hang out at the local record store. Our parents never understood my passions, constantly comparing me to Lori and wondering why I couldn't be more like her. This dynamic continued well into our adult years. Lori went on to become a successful corporate lawyer, married Randy M34, a wealthy real estate developer, and had 2 perfect children. Meanwhile, I struggled to find my place, bouncing between odd jobs before finally settling into freelance graphic design. It wasn't glamorous, but it allowed me to pursue my passion for art despite our differences. I always tried to maintain a relationship with Lori. I attended every family gathering, helped plan her wedding, and even offered to babysit her kids when they were born. But no matter what I did, it never seemed to be enough for Lori or our parents. I remember one particular Thanksgiving when Lori announced her first pregnancy. Everyone was overjoyed, singing over her and offering congratulations. When I tried to join in, Lori looked at me and said, "Oh, I'm sure you'll find someone and settle down eventually. You just need to put yourself out there." More, the condescension in her voice was unmistakable, and it stung. Another time, at her son's first birthday party, I overheard Lori talking to some of her friends. "Yeah, that's my sister," she said, gesturing towards me. "She's still trying to make it as an artist or something. I keep telling her to get a real job, but she doesn't listen." I pretended not to hear, but inside I was seething. Randy wasn't much better. He often joined in on Lori's teasing, making jokes about my little drawings and asking when I was going to get a grown-up job at family dinners. He would dismiss my opinions on current events, saying things like, "Well, I'm sure it seems that way from your perspective, but in the real world." Despite all this, I kept trying. I thought if I just worked hard enough, proved myself enough, they would finally see my worth. But nothing ever changed. Things took a dramatic turn about 6 months ago. I was working on a project at my favorite local coffee shop when I saw Lori walk in. At first, I was going to call out to her, but then I saw she wasn't alone. She was with a man I didn't recognize, and they were acting far too intimate for it to be a work meeting. I watched in shock as Lori kissed this mystery man passionately before they sat down at a secluded table. My mind was reeling. Lori, the perfect sister, the one who always did everything right, was cheating on her husband. For days, I grappled with what to do with this information. Should I confront Lori, tell Randy, keep it to myself? I knew that if I accused Lori of cheating, she would likely deny it and somehow turn it around on me. She was always good at that, making me look like the bad guy. And if I told Randy, would he even believe me over his precious wife? In the end, I decided to keep quiet and gather more evidence. Over the next few months, I secretly followed Lori and documented her meetings with this mystery man. I took photos, recorded times and dates, and even managed to overhear some of their conversations. It was clear this wasn't just a one-time thing. Lori was having a full-blown affair. During this time, Lori announced she was pregnant with her third child. The family was ecstatic, planning a lavish baby shower to celebrate. I was invited, of course, but only as an afterthought. I still remember the phone call from Lori. "Hey sis," she said, her voice dripping with fake enthusiasm. "We're having a baby shower next month. I know you're not really into these things, but Mom insisted I invite you. Don't worry about bringing a gift. I know money's tight for you right now." Her words brought back memories of all the time she had belittled me, made me feel small and insignificant, and now knowing what I knew about her affair, her holier-than-thou attitude made my blood boil. The day of the baby shower arrived, and I decided it was time to expose Lori's deceit. I arrived at the party, a forced smile on my face as I greeted everyone. Lori barely acknowledged me, too busy soaking up the attention from her friends and family. I waited until all the guests had arrived, and Lori was opening her gifts as she CE'd over an expensive stroller from our parents. I stood up and cleared my throat. "I have a gift for you, too, Lori," I said, my heart pounding. "It's the gift of truth." The room fell silent as all eyes turned to me. Lori looked annoyed, probably assuming I was about to make some sappy speech, but she had no idea what was coming. I pulled out my phone and connected it to the TV in the living room. "I think everyone here deserves to know who Lori really is," I said, my voice shaking slightly. Then I played the video I had compiled of Lori kissing her lover, recordings of their intimate conversation, dates and times of their meetings. The room was dead silent, As people processed what they were seeing and hearing, Laura's face turned pale. Then red with anger, she started screaming at me, calling me a liar and a jealous. Randy looked shell-shocked, staring at the screen with disbelief. Our parents tried to intervene, telling me to stop making a scene, but I refused to back down. You've always treated me like I was worthless. I told Lori, years of pent-up frustration pouring out. You've mocked my career, my lifestyle, my choices. You've made me feel small and insignificant at every turn, but at least I'm not a cheating liar who betrays her family. The baby shower quickly devolved into chaos after that. People started leaving, whispering among themselves. Lori locked herself in the bathroom, refusing to come out. Randy left without a word, taking the kids with him. Our parents were furious with me, saying I had ruined everything and demanding I leave. As I drove home that day, I felt a mix of emotions: vindication, guilt, anger, sadness. I knew I had just blown up my family, but a part of me felt like it had been a long time coming. It's been a week since the baby shower, and I'm still dealing with the fallout. Most of my family isn't speaking to me, saying I went too far by exposing Lori publicly. A few relatives have reached out to thank me for telling the truth, but they're in the minority. Lori has been telling everyone that I made everything up out of jealousy, and some people seem to believe her. I don't regret what I did. Lori has gotten away with treating me badly for years, always coming out smelling like roses. For once, I wanted everyone to see her for who she really is. But now I'm wondering if I took things too far. So Reddit AA for exposing my sister's affair at her baby shower update. When it's been about a month since the baby shower incident, and to say that a lot has happened would be an understatement. I wanted to give you all an update on the situation. First and foremost, Randy filed for divorce. He reached out to me a few days after the baby, asking to see all the evidence I had collected. I met him at a local diner, away from prying eyes, and handed over everything I had: photos, videos, dates, times, locations. Randy sat there for hours going through it all, his face growing more and more grim with each piece of evidence. He told me that when he confronted Lori with the evidence, she tried to deny it at first. She claimed I had fabricated everything out of jealousy, but when faced with the overwhelming proof, she finally broke down and confessed. Randy was devastated but grateful to me for revealing the truth. Lori, on the other hand, has been on a warpath. She's been telling anyone who will listen that I'm a pathological liar who made everything up to ruin her life. She's even threatened to sue me for defamation, though I'm not too worried about that. Given the mountain of evidence I have, our parents are still furious with me. They've been supporting Lori through all of this, helping her move out of the house she shared with Randy, and even offering to pay for her lawyer. They've made it clear that they believe I acted out of jealousy and spite and that I've torn the family apart. I tried to explain my side of things to them. I told them about all the years of belittlement and condescension I had endured from Lori. I reminded them of all the times they had compared me unfavorably to her, making me feel like I was never good enough. But they refused to listen. In their eyes, Lori is still the golden child who can do no wrong, and I'm the troublemaker who ruined everything. The rest of the family is divided. Some relatives have reached out to express their support, saying they always suspected Lori wasn't as perfect as she intended to be. My cousin Amy called me and said I always thought Lori was full of it. Remember the time at Grandma's 80th birthday when she accidentally spilled wine on your new dress? I knew that wasn't an accident. It's been validating to hear that others had seen through Lori's facade. However, others are firmly on Lori's side, believing her claims that I made everything up. It's been hard seeing how quickly some people were willing to believe the worst of me. My Aunt Susan, who I've always been close to, called me in tears, asking how I could do such a terrible thing to my own sister. No matter how much I tried to explain, she wouldn't believe me. One unexpected development has been my relationship with Rye's family. His parents and siblings have been incredibly supportive, thanking me for exposing Laura's infidelity. They've even invited me to family gatherings, something Lori always forgot to do when she was married to Randy. Last weekend, I attended a barbecue at Rye's parents' house. It was strange being there without Lori, but also refreshing to be around people who appreciated me. As for Laura's pregnancy, it turns out the baby might not be Rye's. She's refusing to do a paternity test, which pretty much confirms everyone's suspicions. Randy is devastated at the thought that the child he was so excited about might not be his. He confided in me that he had always wanted a big family, and the thought that this baby isn't his is breaking his heart. I've been struggling with mixed emotions through all of this. On one hand, I feel vindicated. For years, Lori treated me like I was worthless while everyone praised her, and now the truth about her character is out. I remember all the times she mocked my career choice, like when she said at a family dinner, "Thing, how cute, I guess someone has to design those free flyers they hand out at the supermarket." Now everyone knows that behind her perfect facade, she's capable of deep betrayal. On the other hand, seeing my family torn apart like this is hard, even if I don't regret my actions. I never wanted to be the cause of so much pain and chaos. There are moments when I miss the family dinners, the holiday gatherings, even the tea-in. At least then we were all together. I've been focusing on my work to distract myself from all the drama. Ironically, the publicity from this whole incident has led to an increase in clients for my graphic design business. It seems some people in our community admire me for having the courage to expose the truth, even at great personal cost. I recently landed a big contract designing a campaign for a local politician, something I never would have gotten before all this happened. Despite the ongoing chaos, I stand by my decision to reveal Laura's affair. The truth was bound to come out eventually, and I believe Randy and the kids deserve to know. I just hope that in time, my parents and other family members will understand why I did what I did. For now, I'm taking it one day at a time, focusing on my work and trying to navigate this new family dynamic. Update 2. It's been 6 months since my last update, and the situation has evolved in ways I never expected. I wanted to share the latest developments with you. All the biggest news is that Laura's baby was born 2 months ago. As many suspected, the paternity test confirmed that Randy is not the father. The real father turned out to be Laura's coworker, the man I had seen her with at the coffee shop. This revelation has caused another wave of drama in the family. Randy has been struggling to cope with everything. He's devastated about the baby note being his, and he's been fighting for full custody of their 2 older children. Lori is contesting this, leading to a nasty court battle. I've been supporting Randy as much as I can, providing statements about Laura's character and her treatment of me over the years. Last week, I attended one of the court hearings. Seeing Lori there looking disheveled and stressed was surreal. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Then I remembered all the years of her cruel comments and condescending attitude, and my sympathy evaporated. My parents have finally started to come around after the paternity test results. They couldn't deny the truth any longer. They came to my apartment one evening looking tired and defeated. My mom said, "We owe you an apology. We should have believed you from the start." It was validating. Had been craving for years, but it felt hollow. Somehow years of favoritism towards Lori can't be erased overnight, and I'm finding it hard to forgive them for their initial reaction. Lori has become increasingly isolated. Many of her friends have distanced themselves from her, and she's facing disciplinary action at work due to her affair with a coworker. She's been reaching out to me, alternating between angry accusations and tearful pleas for reconciliation. One day she'll leave me a voicemail calling me a jealous, vindictive, and the next she'll send a text saying she misses me and wants to make amends. I've been keeping my distance, not ready to let her back into my life. After everything that's happened, surprisingly, this whole ordeal has led to some positive changes in my life. The increase in my graphic design business has continued, allowing me to expand and hire an assistant. I've moved out of my small apartment into a nice house with a dedicated home office. It's strange to think that in some ways my life has improved as a result of this family drama. I've also been dating someone new, a friend of Rise, who reached out to offer support during the divorce proceedings. It's early days, but it's nice to be with someone who knows the whole story and accepts me for who I am. The family dynamics have shifted dramatically. Relatives who once dismissed me are now seeking my company, often to gossip about Lori. It's a strange feeling being the one people turn to for information and support. After years of being the family outcast, last month at a cousin's wedding, I found myself surrounded by relatives, hanging on my every word as I shared the latest updates on the situation. Part of me enjoyed the attention, while another part felt uncomfortable with the way they seemed to be revving in Laura's downfall. I've been in therapy to deal with all the emotional fallout from this situation. It's helping me process my feelings about Lori, our parents, and my place in the family. I'm learning to set boundaries and prioritize my own well-being, something I never felt able to do before. As for Laura's baby, it's a complicated situation. Randy wants nothing to do with the child, which is understandable. Laura's coworker, the real father, is married with his own family and is reluctant to be involved. It's a mess, and I can't help but feel sorry for the innocent baby caught in the middle of all this. Despite all the chaos, I don't regret my actions at the baby shower. Exposing Laura's affair was difficult, but was necessary. The truth has a way of coming out eventually. And I believe it's better that it happened now rather than years down the line. Update 3. It's been a year since my initial post, and I wanted to provide one final update on the situation. The divorce between Lori and Randy was finalized 3 months ago. Randy got primary custody of their 2 older children, with Lori having visitation rights. It was a bitter battle, but in the end, the evidence of Lori's infidelity and her subsequent behavior worked against her in court. Lori's life has taken a dramatic turn. She lost her job at the law firm due to the scandal of her affair with a coworker. She's been struggling financially and emotionally, often reaching out to family members for support. Last week, I ran into her at the grocery store. She looked tired and defeated, a far cry from the polished, confident woman she used to be. For a moment, I felt a pang of guilt, wondering if I had gone too far. But then I remembered all the years of her cruel comments and dismissive attitude, and I hardened my heart. Our parents have been helping Lori, which has caused some tension between us. They've been babysitting her baby and helping her financially. When I questioned this, my mom said she's still our daughter, and she needs us right now. I understand their position, but it's hard not to feel a bit resentful, remembering all the times I struggled, and they told me to figure it out on my own. Randy has been doing better. He's focused on his kids and his business, and he's even started dating again recently. We've maintained a friendly relationship, and I'm glad to see him healing from all the hurt Lori caused. Last month, he invited me to his daughter's dance recital. Seeing him there, cheering her on with genuine happiness, made me feel like exposing the truth was worth it, despite all the chaos it caused. As for me, my life has changed in ways I never expected. My graphic design business has continued to thrive, and I've even been approached about teaching a course at a local community college. It's ironic, for years, Lori mocked my career choice, but now I'm the one with a stable, growing business. While she's struggling to find work, my relationship with Rye's friend has grown serious, and we're talking about moving in together. It's strange to think that something positive could come out of this whole mess, but I'm cautiously optimistic about our future. My relationship with my parents is still complicated. While they've acknowledged that they were wrong about Lori and unfair to me, years of favoritism aren't easy to overcome. In family therapy together, trying to work through our issues and build a healthier relationship. It's a slow process filled with uncomfortable conversations and painful revelations, but I'm hopeful that we can eventually reach a better place. Lori's baby is now 10 months old. It's a difficult situation. The child's biological father is minimally involved, and Lori is struggling as a single mother. Despite everything, I can't help but feel for my niece. I've been grappling with whether I want to have a relationship with her, knowing it's not her fault how she came into the world. Last week, I saw them at the park. The baby was giggling as Lori pushed her on the swing, and for a moment, I saw a glimpse of the sister I used to love. Looking back on everything that's happened, I still believe I made the right choice in exposing Lori's affair. It was a difficult and painful process, but it allowed the truth to come to light and gave people the opportunity to make informed decisions about their lives and relationships. This experience has taught me a lot about standing up for myself, the importance of honesty, and the complicated nature of family dynamics. While I never wanted to be the person to cause such upheaval in my family, I've come to accept that sometimes difficult actions are necessary for the truth to prevail. As I move forward, I'm focused on building a life that's true to who I am, surrounded by people who value honesty and respect. It's been a long and tumultuous journey, but I'm hopeful for what the future holds. The family gatherings are smaller now, and there's still tension in the air, but at least the relationships that remain are built on truth rather than pretense. Last week, I had dinner with Randy and the kids. As we sat around the table, laughing and sharing stories, I realized that while my actions had undoubtedly caused pain, they had also paved the way for new, more authentic connections. It's not the family I grew up with, but maybe in time it could be something even better.